everybody! 大家好! I welcome you to Jade Palace Yamingo. My name is Yaya. We know about this painting, but does it hide something more? So let's get started. QingMing 上河图 along the river during the QingMing festival is most likely China's most renowned painting. We have talked about this painting before in a previous video. It depicts the daily life of a northern Song dynasty society of both rich and poor citizens. But this painting is more sinister than meets the eye. Wait, what do I mean? This is just a painting of the dynasty's prosperity, right? Look closer and you start to notice that things are not right. It's very well hidden, and at first glance, you wouldn't notice it. It looks peaceful, and people are just doing their business. But shadows of foreboding lurk in each section. What was the purpose of this painting? The artist, Zhang Zheduan, was an imperial painter, and at that time, all court paintings had to be approved by the emperor. So he wanted to use this rule for his own purpose. He couldn't stand the economic climate of the dynasty. There were a lot of things going wrong. The painting was used as a warning to Emperor Huizong by the artist. It's hard to believe, so I get it if you guys are still skeptical. But let's go bit by bit from the beginning of the painting and analyze each piece of evidence. Right off the bat, we have the first example. This one is a little hard to see as the scroll was damaged and patched. White horses already show discourse and are a warning of what is to come. Right in front of the procession, you see a couple of men chasing after white horses. Their hands are thrown up in the air in alarm and chasing after the escaped steeds. In front of the rampaging herd is an old man shouting towards some children in the streets. These children are in the path of the horses and are at risk of getting trampled. Just a bit down the path, a donkey was also spooked by the escaped horses. With this situation occurring so early in the scene, it serves as foreshadowing of worse things down the storyline. Let's progress a little more as we enter the city limits. We start to see shops, but here you notice a tower. This is a fire tower, but it is empty. Fires are an actual hazard as there were more than 40 fire disasters in the Northern Song dynasty. It needs to be constantly watched. Why is no one in the towers? Someone always needs to be on the lookout. Instead, you find the soldiers that were supposed to man the towers, all at a tavern. We reach the climax of the painting, the ship and the rainbow bridge. It is an iconic scene and the one that comes to mind when talking about this painting. But we're going to ignore the boat and look towards what's going on the bridge. Something is a little off. At first, it appears bustling with activity. The density of the citizens is due to the QingMing festival celebrations. Not exactly. The bridge is congested with heavy traffic. It's not because of the festivities. Then, why? Almost a third of the bridge is taken up by stands. Most likely, these are illegal stands, as the way that they're set up seems unstable. They're taking up space on the bridge that is meant for people to walk. Not only that, but what is causing the most traffic are two officials that are at a standstill and neither is budging. One is a court advisor, while the other is most likely a general. Traditionally, the one with the lower status has to be the one that concedes and lets the other one through first. There is a whole hierarchy to it. No matter what, one of them is of lower status and should be the one to step aside, but neither is willing. In a way, this is a reflection of the emperor. If the emperor isn't going to follow protocol, why should his citizens? A little further down, we enter the second half of the middle section. The city gate is decrepit and broken down, and also not a guard in sight. No one is regulating, and people are allowed to go as they please. Even foreign traders that we see with the camels. No regulation and no safety. Two specific carts can be spotted in the crowd. On their carts are tarps with 草书 calligraphy. Why is that significant? 草书 calligraphy is considered a very expensive piece of work, like top-level art. For it to be used as a tarp for cart covering and by poor citizens, it shows a decline in the status of societal standards. Lastly, at the end of the painting, we have three stands. One, we have women at a physician. Another, we have a man looking for direction. And finally, we have people looking to get their fortune told. At first, it seems innocuous, but the artist is expressing his concerns for society. The women at the physician are there with the child, but they're not there for them. Next to the entrance, you notice a sign. It reads that the pharmacist specializes in curing intoxication, so they're there most likely for the men at home. In the stand next to it, you see someone asking for directions, and in the stand below, you have a group of people waiting to have their fortunes told. This trio is the epitome of his concerns with the dynasty. He's showing that people are lost. They're insecure about their life, direction, and their future. One small detail that is easy to miss are the ships that you are seeing in the painting. They are carrying grain for distribution. But they're not government ships. They belong to private companies. How do you know they are privatized ships? Government ships would have officials guarding the docks. You see none here, meaning privately owned ships. Grain distribution role belonged to the government. But what happened to the government ships that private companies were the ones shipping grain? It's because the emperor used all the government fleets to carry his rocks. He used up all the state money collecting rocks to build his perfect garden park. As I said, this painting was used as a warning for the emperor if he didn't get his act together. What was wrong with the economic status and the emperor that made Zhang Zheduan feel like he needed to do this? The Song dynasty is known as the Renaissance dynasty of Chinese history. It's known for its beautiful and realistic art. Emperor Huizong was just painting all day and collecting rocks, that he neglected his duties. To be fair, the emperor was well known to be a great painter, even one of China's greatest. He was also known as a calligrapher, musician, and poet. He was a true patron of the arts. However, he neglected his role as the emperor. War was raging and was basically at their doorsteps. But the emperor just wasn't doing anything but living his Renaissance fantasy. Modern scholars are now questioning if the city depicted is actually Bianjing, the capital, as previously believed. First piece of evidence is that the city gate does not show a name. Traditionally, the name of the city will be hung over the gate. But here, the only writing that is on the sign is door. According to Yu Hui, the director of the research department of the Palace Museum, he created an aerial view of the city in the painting, the layouts of the street and river path. They don't match up with any of the ground layouts of the map of the actual city. So the city is most likely not Bianjing, but inspired by it so much that it looks like it. The artist wanted the city to look recognizable to the viewer, but since he did not actually depict the city, he instead drew what he thought best to tell his narrative. Why wasn't this piece more renowned in history? Well, the emperor didn't like what he saw and didn't commission any more from the artist. Many people think that the emperor couldn't see the hidden messages, but I doubt it. He was a great artist himself. He wouldn't have overlooked the omens. He simply just didn't like what he saw. Emperor Huizong basically ignored the warnings. He was a very devoted Taoist and only enjoyed looking at auspicious things. So it wasn't that he didn't see it. He just disliked it. He acknowledged the techniques of the artist, thought that the painting was pretty. He approved it and named it. But right after, he just rolled it up and gave it to his uncle. Not a second glance. Unfortunately, the warnings of Zhang Zhiduan came true. Just like his predictions, the Northern Song dynasty fell only 10 years after the painting was finished. Had the emperor taken these messages to heart, maybe the dynasty wouldn't have ended the way it did. I have a Teespring if you'd like to support the channel. I have a lot of super cute designs that I'm really proud of, so please check it out if you can. Link is in the description below. So what do you guys think? What do you think of the artist's viewpoint of the dynasty? Leave a comment down below because I would like to know. Please leave a comment if you can. It really does help out small channels like mine. You can also let me know what topics you would like to see me cover in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to Jade Palace Yamingong. I would very much appreciate it. And until next time, 再见啦，拜拜。